Let's talk to David. Hello, David. You're talking to Shannon and Jim. What would you like to talk about today?
Hey, Shannon and Jim.
Hi.
I just sort of wanted to kind of rehash something you guys were talking about, but this is sort of something that I talk about all the time when I talk about cosmology.
Cool.
I sort of have my own cosmology.
Neat.
It's called the cosmology of David.
Okay. All right. Davidism. Davidism.
But I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. Let's.
No, Davidian cosmology.
You don't mention Davidian in Texas because we've already had a brush with the branch Davidians, so let's stay away from that.
Eep. All right.
That's what somebody labeled it. So I don't want to give you my cosmology right now because I've tried to give it a couple times, and Jim shut me down one time, said I wasn't qualified, and Matt shut me down. I've been shut down by everybody. So
okay. My turn.
Turn to different subject.
All right. What would you like to talk about, David?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, well, he was talking about pantheism, and so I just wanted to say that he was approaching it from a totally different area. But my understanding of the Big Bang Theory is that it sort of necessitates pantheism.
Why? Which Big Bang Theory are you talking about? There's 13 of them that all fit that definition for lay people.
Let's sit back.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't.
Jim show now.
The concept I understand of the Big Bang Theory is when it talks about expansion of the cosmos.
Okay.
That it started at a single, very infinitesimal point of massive energy, and then somehow expanded from there and is still expanding.
That's one of the hypotheses. Yes, it fit the general definition. Yes. So what?
Okay, that's the only one I know.
Okay. And how does that prove pantheism?
On that.
Yeah, how does that prove pantheism?
Okay, I'm just saying that if you follow that model, that sort of necessitates pantheism. Because
how does that necessitate any God claim? How does that necessitate a God?
Well, it necessitates pantheism. I said I didn't say God. So,
why?
Well, what's your definition of pantheism then?
Type of that the cosmos has creative abilities. That's what I'm looking at.
So right. So your definition of pantheism is that the cosmos has creative capability.
Right. Well, that's one aspect of it. I'm sure I can think of other things, but.
So when you say creative capability, what precisely do you mean by creative?
Well, the Big Bang model creates space where there is no space.
Okay, but volcanoes create land where there is no land if they're in the ocean, right? Is that the type of creative do you mean, or do you mean creative as in someone paints a painting? Because those are two different types of creation.
Yeah, but a volcano doesn't create anything. It just rearranges stuff.
That was kind of my point.
I'm talking about creating something out of nothing.
Well, a volcano will create land where there is no land if it's in the middle of the ocean. The Hawaiian Islands and most of the South Pacific Islands are kind of proof of that. So, it does create islands in the middle of the ocean. So there is that type of creation that is purely natural and it is not directed. And then you have the type of creation of, say, a painter painting a painting that is a directed creation, right? So which type of creation, when you say that, do you mean?
No, I'm not talking about either of those because you're creating something out of something there. But I'm talking about in the Big Bang Theory, it's saying that space is created out of nothing.
No. I don't know of a model. I don't know of a single model that actually talks about that. I've never heard many cosmologists talk about creating something out of nothing. The only people I do hear talking about that are generally theists. So they have other ways of saying that the universe is created, but out of nothing is not one of them that I have heard.
Well, originally there was supposedly an infinitesimal point of massive energy, right?
That is something.
Yeah, but that's the proposition of the Big Bang, right?
Yes, that is one of them. Yes, that there was a singularity, and that singularity expanded rapidly, that we call the Big Bang, and that created the universe. However, the singularity is not nothing. It is, in fact, something.
Yes, but I'm just talking about that infinitesimal point of massive energy in the center of whatever.
Okay.
That thing had to, I mean, they're saying that maybe gravity or something was containing it within that, but I don't know what they're saying about how much space was there. But
well, it's a singularity. So the concept of space and time don't really exist at that point, and we don't really understand it ourselves. And I don't know anybody who understands it, because our knowledge stops at about Planck time. So very, very short period of time we can go back, but we don't understand any of the physics behind what happens before that. So we don't know. That's why there are 13 different versions of it, or 16, or wherever the number is.
Okay, but I only know of this one.
Well, I'm saying there are 13 to 16 different versions of the Big Bang Theory, right? There's a lot of different ways it could go, and we just don't know.
Okay, well, mine's just the kindergarten version.
Oh, wait. This is fascinating to me. I love listening to you guys talk about the beginning of the universe. But David, you have to recognize that you're calling in to tell us that you think the Big Bang Theory entails pantheism, or I can't remember which, something, entails a god of some sort. But this is based on your kindergarten version understanding of it. So are we?
Well, this is the only one I know. So he said.
So why should we be convinced? You've just admitted that you have a rudimentary understanding of the concept, but also asserted that the concept entails something. So
make this an argument from authority.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to.
No, David, I don't mean to imply that, but I also want you to recognize that, like, if you're going to call in and say, hey, the Big Bang Theory entails this belief, then, or if you, especially if you're going to believe that's the case, you should have a foundation that's based on more than, I mean, I don't know, I heard about it, and this is my understanding of it, right? Like, I want better for you.
This is the one I've been learning since I was 18, and I'm 58. So.
Right. And it's the one that I learned in school as well. And it turns out that it's much more complicated than that. But I don't see how you get from the Big Bang is to a god, right? That's kind of the problem. Or how do you get to pantheism from there?
Well, I was just saying it necessitates pantheism minimum, so you can't really be an atheist.
That's your claim. What's your evidence?
Why?
That's your claim. What's the evidence? Why?
Because I mean, you could be an atheist and believe in Satanism, not believe in the Big Bang. But if you believe in the Big Bang, you are necessarily already a pantheist, because in order for that finite point of power to expand, right, it necessarily has to create space.
But we don't know how that happened. So are you literally saying, I don't know, therefore pantheism?
I'm saying that violates the laws of physics. What I'm saying is we
don't know what the laws of physics are. We don't know what the laws of physics are before Planck time. So how can you make that claim?
Well, if that little point of finite mass of power was in, say, solid material, right?
We don't know what it was.
It was like,
you're making claims that I don't know of any cosmologist who would substantiate it. We don't know what happened. That's the whole point.
Well, all I'm saying, it just violates the laws. It involves metaphysics, minimum.
No, how can it involve metaphysics if we don't even know what the physics are? How can it involve metaphysics?
Because you're violating the laws of physics.
What laws are we violating when we don't know how the laws of physics work in the singularity or before Planck time?
Well, you're violating the modern laws of physics.
There's no, there are the laws of physics. We just don't understand them beyond a certain point at certain high enough energy levels.
Jim, you need to know the retro laws of physics.
So,
Right. And yeah.
So you guys will admit then that you don't know what the physics could have been infinitely fast light in the beginning. You have no idea. But let me.
So you think that it's
knows.
a mic drop that we don't know what physics was like billions and billions and billions of years
Yeah,
ago
I mean,
at the point of the singularity?
Well,
Yeah, this is well known. This is, I mean,
Do you?
ask you a question. Let me ask.
Do you? No. Do you know? You don't know what physics was like either, right? Do ya? Billions and billions of years ago at the point of the singularity, do you know what physics was like in reality at that point in time?
Well, physics. If you're talking about our known physics.
No. That's not what I said. I said billions and billions and billions and billions of years ago, like at the point of the singularity.
Yeah, but
You're no, because you're saying it defies physics, but you're also saying none of us know what physics was like. So what's it defying? It's defying what?
okay. Well, first off, that singularity, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff came out of the invisible. Okay, we know that for a fact.
What
came
that?
out of, no. What do you mean came out of the invisible?
Yes,
What
they
does
did.
that? What does that even mean?
Sure, they did.
Visible light spectrum?
Well,
The invisible.
no, it's invisible because do you look in the air and do you see the nitrogen and the helium and the oxygen?
Not with my eyes. They're not good enough to. No, not with eyeballs.
We can use instruments to measure them.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
That's how we know they exist.
You
Because we
could-
can detect them.
It came out
They're
of
detectable.
it came out of a realm that was totally invisible. All I'm saying, let me ask you a question. If you
So
took,
you just said nitrogen is invisible. So you're saying that the singularity came out of nitrogen. Like, I don't know what you mean even at this point, David. Like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, but there was no matter. That's what I'm trying to say.
But
You know that.
you don't, it was
Matter.
We don't know if there was so there was energy, and energy and matter are basically the same thing. So I'm not well. Wow, that was a huge gloss over some complicated physics. But this is the problem, right? We don't know what happened, and you're saying I don't know, therefore pantheism, and that's just an argument from ignorance, and that's not a good place to argue. You just stop with I don't know.
right.
You asked me a question, and did I know that physics, what it was like in the beginning? And I'm trying to say that if there is no matter, there's no physics. See, it's all pertaining. See, when I said what are
But that's an assertion that there's no matter.
physics are,
Right. You're still making an assertion that we don't know if that's the
Or
case.
energy.
you know what the physics are here and now, but you don't know what the physics like were then or
Okay.
history.
David,
We do not know
David,
what
I
the
need
physics
okay.
are before
This,
Planck time. That is correct, David.
I'm done because
Okay.
that's not done with I am done talking. What this boils down to is you do not know how the universe began. There's multiple theories about it. One you're tangentially familiar with, and you feel as though your understanding of the one that you're tangentially familiar with somehow entails pantheism because something had to be created, and therefore, if anything's created, it needs to entail pantheism. I guess that's what I gleaned from this, and also,
Well, yeah, it has.
it seems to be predicated on you having a series of assertions that indicate that you have a basic misunderstanding of both physics, the theories of how the universe started as they relate to physics, and possibly even pantheism.
Well, all I'm basing it on is the ability for the cosmos that their claim. It's just following kind of liberal Christianity, really, because it followed the George's Lemaitre false prophecy about expansion, or from the Bible about God stretched out the heavens. But my claim was that the cosmos they claim from the redshift, and I don't know how they use the redshift for expansion because that don't make any sense. Because space according to CMBR, space is not expanding. But if it were,
David, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to let you go because I can't take physics lessons, and cosmology lessons and astrophysics lessons from you right now, David, because you say the words I don't understand multiple times while you're making your assertions. And I just want you to roll around in your head that if you have to say the words I don't know and I don't understand that many times while you're stringing together a theory that you're presenting, that's not a strong argument, right? If you say, I don't know, I don't understand, none of us know, I don't have an idea, this is the only one I'm familiar with, I only have a tangential familiarity with it.
I don't know. I did not say I don't know. You're the one that doesn't know. I know what I'm talking about.
No, you literally said the words, I don't know why they use. Okay, David?
You're unaware of all of the different theories in cosmology. You have your own cosmology and you're not a cosmologist.
David.
How old was Einstein when he came up with the theory of relativity?
That's inconsequential. He could have been 15 or he could have been 130. It's inconsequential how old he is, because if you're attempting to relate cognitive ability and intellect with age, that it's not relevant. It has nothing to do. It supports none of the things that you've said. It's not relevant.
And he was wrong about...
Because I'm not a scientist that I am not qualified.
No, it's because you actually say multiple times, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Now, you are in fact not qualified. That's just a fact of the matter. That's just how qualification works, David. I'm also not qualified. That is literally how qualification works. Neither of us are astrophysicists. So by definition, we are not qualified. We're not. We're just having a conversation about it. Both of us, both you and I are. The only difference between you and me I'm saying that there is no God, and Big Bang cosmology, whatever that may be, doesn't even necessarily have a relation to it. You're saying it does have a relation to it, and going on to make multiple assertions that you've already explicitly stated you don't know how to support. And you're getting frustrated with me because I'm not going to accept your unfounded assertions, because I'm just not. Nobody should, because that's not the way that things should work when it comes to making beliefs and acquiring knowledge. Accepting David's unfounded assertions about cosmology when he's not qualified is not the way that people should go about accumulating knowledge on the universe. So I'm not going to today or ever.
I'm perfectly qualified.
You're perfectly qualified to talk about quantum physics, cosmology.
Because I know what I'm talking about.
How, David?
I'm just telling you, space cannot expand.
David,
into a solid material.
Prove
David?
it. What's your proof? Give me your evidence. Give your model for how it works.
Can space expand into a solid material?
Oh!
Apparently it does, because that's what's happening, right?
No.
David, when you prove your theory and get your Nobel Prize, call us back. Until then, go open a book, go study some cosmology and have some fun with that. Because you clearly don't know what you're talking about. I barely do, and have only a layman's understanding of it. So, you just need to really educate. Go listen to Sean Carroll and some of the other cosmologists that are out there, and actually get some education on that, because you're less qualified than I am, and that is saying something, because I am not qualified either. So anyway, thank you. Hope that helps. Have a nice day.
No, he hung up on us.
Oh, yay, good.
He had enough of our foolishness. We were being ridiculous.
Yeah, we were being really, really ridiculous.
I am qualified. So am I. We're all qualified. Based on your definition of qualification, I'm pretty sure the cup I'm drinking out of is qualified, but okay.